we've discovered that there are certain factors which increase the susceptibility of fruit crops to bird damage. So it's a good idea to assess the risk in any particular year and on your particular farm. So for example, in high yield years, there's a lot of fruit available, and so your risk from bird damage is probably going to be lower. And also the effectiveness of bird deterrent techniques will probably be lower in those years because you've got more fruit, less damage to the fruit is what you can expect. If you've got other situations where you've got not a great deal of fruit, then your risk is going to be higher. So for example, for early ripening varieties, your risk is going to be higher. And also if you've got blocks that are adjacent to other non-fruit blocks, your risk is going to be higher. So all those kinds of factors can increase your risk of bird damage. If you're interested in using scare devices, there are things like recording devices and then that give out sound, and these would give out distress calls of birds or calls of predatory birds that might scare birds that eat the fruit in your crops. There might be things like scary men air dancers, or they call them tube men or air rangers in some places, and they are the big floppy things that you might see at a used car lot. So those types of scare devices can be effective if they're moved regularly, if you use them to some degree in a random sense so the birds don't get habituated to them. But almost any scare device birds are going to get habituated to after a certain amount of time. So you're going to need to take that into account and perhaps use multiple deterrents and do anything you can to avoid the habituation for as long as possible. You can also think about attracting beneficial species. So some work we're doing has we've put up nest boxes for predators like American kestrels. And though they don't eat a lot of birds, they do eat a lot of insect pests and they eat a lot of rodent pests. So though they're not going to solve anyone's total pest problems, they're a nice low-cost, low-maintenance addition to pest management programs. And it's possible that their activity in fruit blocks may diminish the activity of fruit-eating birds. That's something that we're working on right now, and we have data that we'll be looking at to see if we can address that question.